By the end of this video, regardless of your current skill level, you're going to learn something that's going to help you score more touchdowns, which means you're going to win more games. And if you like that idea, let's get into the video. This is one of the biggest mistakes you can make while playing offense in College Football 26. And I'm just going to go here and call gun doubles this little angle smash play. And guess what? I've already made the mistake. So what is it and why is this bad? Why do we want to avoid it? Well, we never, ever, ever want to call plays out of our coach suggestions tab. Let me explain why. Right here, I'm going to call gun, wing, halfback, weak, close, halfback, counter you. Okay? Long name, but this is a play right here, okay? This could be a good play. It could be a bad play. I actually don't even care in this case. So we're going to go here. We call it, right? We don't get anything. And guess what? Our next set of downs, we're not going to even have the option to call this play again or call a play from that same formation. What this makes you have to do is it makes you have to scheme around the entire playbook instead of scheming around formations, which is what we want to do. There's not enough time in a game to call a ton of different plays. So instead, what I highly recommend we do is focus on a few formations that we really like and call our plays based on that. So I'm in the Oregon State offensive playbook right here, and let's go into the gun trips tight end offset weak. And I'm going to start this one off by calling, let's go to an RPO read bubble, okay? So gun trips tight end offset weak. RPO read bubble. I like this so much because it's a read option and there's a little bubble screen built in. Pretty cool. We're going to go here. We're going to hand this ball off. Make somebody miss. Nice. We get some good yards. Now we're on 3rd and 3. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call another play from this same formation. Now you could call the same play or you could call a complementary play like I'm going to do right here with verticals. By the way, screenshot. This is one of my favorite setups in the game because now on defense, they don't know what's coming. Right? It could be that same play, or it could be a changeup, and they have no way of knowing, and now I'm able to dictate the game as the offensive player. And you might be saying, Civil, I play against the CPU, they're not predicting plays like that. That's fair, but let me raise you one more thing. Where when we call the same plays out of the same formations, we're going to actually learn the timing of these routes and what works against what. Imagine in real football, if you're trying to teach a quarterback how to read a certain route concept, you're going to run that quite a bit, right? You're not just going to be like, oh, hey, like, here we go. You're going to run that play numerous times. We want to make sure our trips the wide side for this, by the way. But you're going to run this play numerous times because that's what's going to build in the repetition, and that's how you're going to master it, right? So now, because I've called this play so many times, I know roughly when this out route is going to break and get open underneath. I also have a pretty good idea of when this return route from my tight end, when he's going to break over the middle. And one of the harder routes in the game to hit, which is this comeback, I actually know it's open already right here. Let's snap this ball. Do we get the time? We do. Guess who's open? Comeback. And I know the timing of that ball as well. If you think I'm maybe playing out freshman, that's why I was able to do it. No, this is Heisman difficulty, Oregon State versus Clemson. It's just because I've called this formation so much that I'm able to master it. And there's more plays than just that. We could go to something like halfback power. That's 3 plays. Flood divide. That's 4 plays. And now imagine mixing in some other formations, right, that we're also familiar with. Bang. You have a full scheme at your hands, and you're not calling random plays from coach's suggestion. If you like what we've talked about so far, you have to check out my website, civil.gg. Over there, we post full offensive and defensive guides that are designed to actually help you win more games. Right now, we have over 2,000 active members. 98.2% of our surveyed members say that they've won more games since joining. What we do there actually works, and everything taught there are things I've actually used to help myself win more games. Right now, you can use the link in the top description and use code CIVIL30 to get 30% off and start winning more games today. So no matter what type of offense you run, you are going to pass the ball at least a little bit. So I want to break down everything you need to know about passing the ball in 90 seconds using the best quarterback in the nation, Arch Manning. So 90-second timer, let's start it right now. And first and foremost, let's go into our options, go into settings. We're going to go into, we're actually right here. And passing mechanics, we want placement and accuracy. We want pass lead increase to none and reticle speed to 7. If you're using a quarterback with an accuracy ability like Dot, you can go to placement. But placement accuracy, this is going to be good enough for anybody playing against the best players in the world. And it's also going to be easy enough for anybody of any skill level. Now, there's 2 different main passing types you're going to see. Right there, that's a lob pass. That's by just tapping the icon. If you hold the icon down, you'll get a bullet pass, all right? So 2 passing types. Tap it for that lob. Hold it down for the bullet. Now, when you throw the ball, you can actually use the left stick and do what's called pass leading. So you can combine that, right? We're going to do a bullet pass. I'm going to pass lead this up and outside. Boom, up and outside. And notice how that's going to affect the receiver and where he's running. This time, I'm going to pass lead this down and inside. How do you know where you want to pass lead? Well, you want to throw it to open grass. You want your receiver catching the ball and putting the ball in a spot where only he can get his hands on it. Let's say we throw this corner out on the right. There's someone underneath him. I would throw it up. If there was someone above him, I would push that left stick down. That's a huge deal that we want to do. Now, a special little tip that I have for you is that if there's ever a tight window where there's a defender right underneath you, you can hold left bumper and throw a high ball, okay? That's a very advanced tactic, but it's very, very good. Now, if you hold X or square when you catch the ball, you'll get a rack, which allows you to run after the catch. If you hold A or X on PlayStation, you're going to get a possession catch. This is great for short yardage and the sidelines. And the timer's up, but the final catch type that we have here is when we hold Y or triangle, we're going to aggressive catch. Sometimes this will look like a rat catch, but the aggressive catch is very good for, I'll show you an example. We go right here, boom. You kind of attack that ball like a rebound. That's one of the better things that you can do in the game, especially when paired with a high ball, which I love. Running the ball in College Football 26 is incredibly good, but you gotta have a clue of what you're doing or else you will struggle. So, let's put 90 seconds on the clock, and we're gonna talk about everything you need to know about rushing 101. Let's start the timer right now. Here we go. So, first and foremost, you should not be holding turbo, which is right trigger or R2 on PlayStation, until you're in the open field and you've decided where you're gonna be running. I'm holding it right now, but if I'm ever trying to cut, I'm actually gonna let go of that turbo. Turbo is very bad for cutting, and it's going to trigger block sheds faster. So no turbo, no turbo. Okay, we don't hold turbo at all right there. Let's go another run. Let's see when we hold turbo. No turbo, no turbo, 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 right? Can I see that open hole? We're trying to explode through it. Let's go here again. No turbo. Turbo, right? See, it was after I cut right there. It was after I made that cut is when I decided to hold turbo. That's a huge deal. Keep in mind, not all runs are created the same. Some are better than others. I love things like inside zones. And just because a run shows it's going to the left right here, if you use the left stick, you can actually cut these runs in different directions. Now, right there wasn't the best time to do it, but you see that it is something we can do, and it is something you should be aware of. Right here, we actually cut this run back, and it's how we get a gain of 5, right? On different runs like Power O's or on inside zone splits, you will find yourself cutting these in different directions. Right there, I cut it out, then I cut it in, and that's actually how I was able to score. Then I held turbo when I hit that open field. That's a huge deal. Now, in this game, this is available in Madden, hold left trigger and then push the right stick to the left, and you can see all your blocks. You can see even the double team going to the next level. Be aware of that. All right, let's go here. Okay. Oh, I'm going to look to cut. Right there, we're able to skirt through because I was patient and I didn't hold turbo really at all right there. Let's go again. Bang. I'm holding turbo right now to get to the sideline, and we're not able to get anything, but that's when we want to use it. So, of course, we're playing College Football 26. We got to talk about the option game, and, of course, I'm using Navy to do so. Okay, there's 3 main types of options we're going to focus on that I think are realistic and good for you to run. Read options, speed options, and triple options. Every playbook, you can go into the concept tab, click on option, and find some of these different ones. There's a lot of different options you can call from, and RPOs are also part of this. Right now, let's just focus on read options. Anything with the halfback behind the QB, I don't like as much. While it is cool in real life, and I come from actually a little bit of I come from a wing T background, and I love good Paul Johnson, go under center, little flex bone, but it's just not great. In this game, you can though. With that being said, I like read options from shotgun. So something like shotgun, normal Y off, read options is gonna be really good. Let's break this down. First and foremost, hold right trigger. You're gonna see there's an R icon or a flame icon over top somebody. That's the read key. If I hold left trigger and push the right stick to the left, you will see we're not gonna block that read key. If he crashes down, I'm gonna pull the ball and run with the QB. If he squares his hips and shuffles, I'm gonna hand the ball off. So let's go here. Let's see what he does. He crashes down. We pull it. To pull the ball, you have to hold A or X. That's going to pull the ball, okay? To hand the ball off, you touch nothing. Let's go here again. This time he squares his hips. We're going to hand the ball off. Now we miss a block. That's annoying, but that's the right read. We go here again. He crashes down. He gets a little chipped, and we're gone, right? They get a little too aggressive. We're going to go for a hurdle, and we just ended Blake's career. Sorry, brother. I'm a big fan of yours, though, if you're watching just now. All right, so we can keep on calling this bang, right? And you get to make that read. One thing you gotta be wary of is running a read option whenever you have a compressed situation on that read side. So like if I had 2 tight ends to the right, sometimes they just bump and it gets weird, okay? So just keep that in mind. Read options, very, very good. They're great gotchas if you haven't ran them all game, but they're also great if you just run them as a big part of your scheme. Right, like genuinely, they're very good. And just to show you something really fast, this is on Heisman. I was gonna say all Madden, it's on Heisman. Cool. So that's read options. Read options also apply to RPO reads. That read part of RPO read, like right here where you see RPO read bubble, that's a read option with an RPO built in. Very good. Okay, let's go to speed options, also known as load options or speed options. So we'll just go shotgun split slot right here, speed option. I don't think these are great, to be honest with you, but they are fine. It's similar idea to the read option, But in this case, if we want to pitch the ball, we're going to read that P icon. If we want to pitch the ball, we're going to tap or hold left bumper. If you tap it, it's going to be a quick pitch, but it's going to be a little bit less accurate. If you hold it, it's going to be a slower pitch, but it's going to be more accurate. Okay, that's just that's that all with the left bumper. We're just going to read this guy, see what he does. If he crashes down, we're going to pitch it. These can be good plays. I just find, at least online, people seem to play these pretty well with their user. And it's risky. You're putting that ball out there, right? So you do want to make that read. I will say some people will overplay the halfback, and you can get some yards with the QB. I'm hoping we get a situation here where we can do that. Nah, we haven't really. But you kind of get the idea of what a speed or a load option would look. These are also found under center. We could go, what would that actually, I guess, I don't know what it's called here, but if we go into formation, we go flex bone. Some under center formations do have load option or speed option. See right here. Full motion. Same idea. Right, bang, pitch it. Awesome. Able to get some yards. Now, let's talk about the triple option. Guess what? That's just both of these mixed into one. So, if we go to concept, go option again, and we go into triple option, let's see if we can find one from shotgun, although we have plenty from under center. Yeah. So, let's go triple option left. Let's go, yeah, lead left. First part of this, read option. R icon on the left. All right, what's he do? Okay, we're just going to hand it off. Cool. We get shedded, but that's the read. All right. So first part of it is a read option. Second part of it is a speed option. So you have two different reads here. You're leaving two different people unblocked. If you can run these well, they could be a big deal. Because you have a huge numbers advantage because you're purposely leaving two players unblocked. That's a big deal. Like, seriously. That's why people run these. Like, that's why they get ran in real life. Because they give the offense a huge numbers advantage. Right? But it is still on, blocking and whatnot to actually execute. So, speed option, read option, triple option, all these combined. Things like a midline option, I'll talk briefly about this. Midline is going to be like it is a read option, but instead of reading an end, you're going to read a defensive tackle, like you see right here. This is, for me, it's hard to read these correctly. I really struggle with mid reads or midlines, anything like that. I struggle with them. They can be good. I'm just not very good with them. So just a little something to keep in mind. See, I can keep it. Now I'm going up the middle with my QB. Like, it can be a really good one. It kind of catches the defense off guard. I just find that these are harder to read than a read option. And I don't always know that they're actually better either. So let's talk about how do we attack zone coverage? What does that look like? And let's talk about a concept that you can use and apply it to every offense you ever run for the rest of your virtual football gaming career. Attacking zone is all about isolating a defender. What do I mean by this? All right, let's talk about how do we make this practical. On the outside right here, I'm going to put a comeback route. What does a comeback route do? It attacks the deep sideline, right? About 15-ish yards down the field. Now I'm going to put a little out route underneath it. If we look at the right side, we have out route attacking short sideline and a comeback route attacking deep sideline. Now, if we think about that for a second, what do zone coverages usually do? Zone coverages usually have one flat defender per side of the field. So if we look at this zone coverage, you see we have a hard flat out there. And I actually don't care what zone this guy's in right now. All I care about is I know it's zone. I know it's zone coverage, right? And I know they're going to have a flat defender from someone, right? I might not even know who. So all we're going to do is read that area of the field. And because we're attacking it in two different areas, no matter where that defender goes, he's going to be wrong. What do I mean by that? Well, if he were to go underneath and defend this out route right here, right? We're going to throw the out route. Well, who's open right there? The comeback was open, right? So now all we're doing is reading the area of the field that we've already determined we're going to read and just saying, okay, well, where is this defender going? Right there, this is where pass leading that we talked about earlier is so important because check this out. I'll never throw that pick again. I had a bad pass lead. That's actually a really good thing because a good read can be wrong if you have a bad pass lead. Right there, you pass it up. We're going to be fine. You want to pass lead away from the defense. That was kind of random, but I'm kind of happy that happened, right? So all this is purely choosing wherever the defender does not go. Right now, I'm going to have him go above, right? I'm going to have him play over top. So guess what we're going to throw? Oh, we have underneath. We're just going to throw underneath, right? And we're able to get a gain of 4, 5, 6, right? Break a tackle, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? It's all about isolating a single defender. Let me show you this again here, but we're going to use a slightly different route combo from the same play, though. I want to show you how different play can be used in different ways, right? Let's drag the slot receiver. So now we're going to create a high-low between our tight end crosser and our slot drag. We actually are going to create a high-low in two different places, in the middle of the field and also on the sideline. Let's focus on the middle of the field first. We snap this ball. Look at that pocket right there. Why is that pocket open? Because look at number 8 on defense. I'm going to identify him right here. Number 8, this guy. Look what he does. He is going to drop back, right? And who's he? He's defending A, so he kind of has to, right? Because if he doesn't drop back, this time I'm gonna make him not drop back. Look what happens here. He plays down to defend the drag. Well, guess who's open? The tight end is. Now, let's talk about the next part of this, right? So we've identified this route concept attacks the middle of the field with a little high-low, but also, let's just wait, right? We'll ignore the first read. This is also attacking the sideline because they're attacking in different depths of the field on the sideline, right? Number 7, this guy out here, or whoever the flat zone defender is, can't defend 20 yards up the field and 5 yards down the field. So right here, I'm going to have him play deeper, right? I'm just going to read mid-play, oh, we have underneath, okay? So again, that's not a predetermined read I'm making on who I'm going to throw it to, but rather I'm just reading an area of the field. Now, how can we make this even better? Well, the best plays actually allow you to isolate numerous defenders at once. So right here, check out this route combo. We're high-lowing the right sideline, we're high-lowing the left middle, and we're high-lowing the left sideline. This is going to be really hard for any defender to play. This is just tough to defend. Like, it just is. Because we're isolating so many different people. Even a good user is going to struggle here because it's just too much going on, right? And now, if we are a good quarterback, which is a skill gap, we simply just have to execute and make the right reads. This is also one of the big reasons why I advocate so heavily for you guys calling plays off formations that you're familiar with, because this will make it easier for you to make reads, because the reads will open up the same ways against the same thing, right? And so you'll just get reps with it, and you'll see like, oh, it's open here. Oh, it's not open, right? One of the biggest pieces of advice I have is that when something isn't open, get your eyes off of it, okay? And every route should be attacking in some way that's helping another route, right? The drag right here that I just threw, he's attacking underneath, making them have to defend underneath in the middle and underneath on the sideline. If they don't do those things, I'm hitting this drag, right? And if they do, we have a crosser going above, which is then countering that, right? That's how these route combos work together. And again, the basis behind beating zone, though, is isolating a single defender. So now let's talk about how do we beat man coverage, which I'm sure you've struggled against man before. I know I have. Man coverage is my man versus your man. It can be tough, but there's some good rules of thumb that we should follow. First and foremost, if we look at this play, there's 2 routes that have a good chance of beating man, and there's 3 routes that really won't beat man coverage. I'm going to talk about why. The 2 routes on the left have a good chance at beating man, at least just by looking at them. Why? Because they have sharp cuts, okay? You want routes that have sharp cuts and continue to move across the field typically. We look at this tight end route, for example. I could defend him. Now, he might ag me if it's me out there, but I could defend him. I'd stay with him. Same with this flat route. This flat route isn't really, right? We look at this flat, it's like, how is he ever going to beat his man, right? Think about in real life, how would that route ever beat his man? This snag on the outside, he can only get open maybe right as he breaks. That's his best chance, right? So against man, we want to put routes out there that are going to be able to move and have sharp cuts. One of my favorite routes is a tight end drag. This route gets horizontal super fast. We go here, bang. You see him get open. Tight end drag is going to do a great job. Slants and posts do great jobs. And just like this, now we have a route that is able to beat man coverage. But another thing to keep in mind is that a corner route against a hard flat will always get open. Does that make sense? A corner route runs 15 yards to the sideline. A hard flat plays about 5 yards to 0 yards. So the corner route will always be open. Man coverage is all probability based. So different routes have different probabilities of getting open against man. Something like this from the tight end, maybe like a 2% chance, right? And maybe right on the break. Maybe that's a 10% chance. I don't know. Something like the tight end drag, that's going to be like 80%, right? And again, then ratings play a factor. But you see, we're able to get him open consistently. Now, why do I say, though, that it's not a guarantee, but rather it's a percentage? Because you can't make a predetermined read here. Now, you can have a good feeling, but you can't just throw it and then be like, oh, but the drag's a man-beating route. Because the drag, if I call this enough times, he will get played at some point, okay? Same thing with these slants and these posts. Let's just watch Bernard. I've thrown him once already in this clip. He's open right here. Okay, we're able to hit him again. If I throw him numerous times, he's not going to be open every single time. Just keep that in mind. Let's do it again right here. I'm actively hoping my player gets back. There we go. He's actually kind of back. Now, that brings me to my next point against man, which is pass leading is everything. Let's focus on these 2 posts/slants, whatever you want to call them. right? We have inside leverage, right? Oh, I pass lead him outside and up. You have to pass lead to open grass. That's all left stick. This is such an important deal. Right here, we got hit. We had X inside, so we're passing him inside, right? You have to be good at this. Right here, we have Y open. Guess what? I passed him backwards, picked off, right? Bad pass lead. You have to be pushing that left stick while you're throwing the ball, or else you're just going to have a bad time beating man covered. Like, you will be. Right here, we got to pass lead him down and outside, right? You have to. Now, with that being said, because everything's a probability, we want to have numerous man-beating routes on the field at once. So a drag right here. Let's actually get rid of the snag, because what's he even doing? Let's go, you go return route right here. You could go comeback. You could go even, I don't hate the curl route, throw it on the break. The deep out route I don't hate. Another drag, right? Double drags. Different ideas. Because now you're at least increasing the chances of you getting open. So routes like deep in routes, slants, drags, halfback routes like Texas routes are awesome against man. Another thing I do like is that a streak by itself won't necessarily beat man, but if they're shading underneath or something, you could get over top them if they're being too aggressive. So keep that in mind. I like to have a streak on the field somewhere, just in case they're playing a little bit too aggressive with their man. But I love Texas halfback Texas routes. They're super good. They have a high success rate. Right here, you see that guy open. And now, even if one of my man beaters don't get open, I have another option I can get the ball to. When it comes to making offense easy for yourself, this is one of, if not the most important thing in my opinion. It's the idea of having everything beaters. So first, let me show you this play, then we're going to deep dive into the idea. We're in the Oregon offensive playbook. It's gun trips tight end offset weak, and the play is going to be called verticals. This is actually one of the first plays we had up on civil.gg, which is my strategy website this year. This play is awesome. All right, so let's go here. Random play on defense. All I'm going to do hot route wise is return route my tight end, wire triangle, select the tight end, down the D-pad, and then come back route my outside wide receiver. Select him, left trigger. This is the play. What is an everything beater? This means that against the majority of things that we play against, we're going to find players who are open. Now, no matter if they're in man or zone or match, we are going to find players open. That does not mean the same players open every time. What it does mean, though, is that our play is designed in a way that gives us options against pretty much everything we see. Does that mean the play is totally unstoppable? No. An everything beater isn't 100% literal. Of course, there's ways to counter every play. But as you see here, where we're playing against a CPU and they're calling random plays, we are able to get numerous different players open. And the key thing here is that we're getting numerous players open. We're not just spamming one player. If you have a play that only has one player getting open, even if he gets open a lot, it's not going to be a great play, especially when you play online against good opponents, because any good opponent can adjust to one player. But when you have numerous options getting open, you see me hit my halfback, you see me hit my tight end, you see me hit my comeback route. Only thing I haven't hit yet is the seam ball, which we actually, dang, we had right there, but whatever. And then we also have this crosser who could be getting open against different things. He was open once already. Let's see. Not open. We'll go tight end. Awesome. When you have something like this, it makes the game easy because you're not stuck trying to figure out what coverage are they in, etc., etc. That's still important, but instead, we're focused on executing. We know the areas of the field that we need to read, and from there, we're just attacking, right? This time, we're going to go here. Awesome. Now, when they adjust to this, ideally inside of our formation that we're running this out of, we have plays that counter that. That's what makes a good scheme, is when we're able to counter whatever they do to counter what we're doing, right? Every play is counterable. But even though every play is counterable, that doesn't mean that the play is just irrelevant. No. It's meant for a reason. Because if they stop this, maybe I have RPO read bubble. Maybe I have another play. Maybe I have another play, etc., etc. That is what makes a good play. Right here, you see them get aggressive. Guess what? I hit over top. Even if that route doesn't get thrown often, the fact that it can be thrown against something specific adds a lot of value to me. Right, we go here again. Well, he's bagged. We had that running back. I was trying to hit Y, but it's okay. All right, let's finish this off on a high note. And you see me call this numerous times. You see me complete this a lot. That is what makes an everything beater, because I'm getting numerous players open against numerous different defenses. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you need to check out civil.gg because we have full offensive schemes there that are designed to just get you winning games today. They're going to make offense easy. They're going to make scoring touchdowns easy, which means you're going to start winning. And everybody likes winning. And right now, use the link in the top description. Use code CIVIL30, and you'll get 30% off.